Legal descriptions real estate practice test. Question 1. While analyzing a cooperative unit, Talia must apply the concept involving the identified location from which a meets minus and minus bounds boundary description starts and ends. Which answer should be selected? Option A, point of beginning. Option B, life estate. Option C, literal rights. Option D, severolte ownership. The correct answer is option A, point of beginning. The starting reference should be identifiable on the ground or through reliable survey information. Failure to close can signal an error or ambiguity in the legal description. A boundary description must connect its final call back to its starting location. Question 2. Which real estate term is defined by a statutory claim protecting persons who provide qualifying labor or materials to improve real property? Option A, subdivision regulation. Option B, mechanics lien. Option C, general lien. Option D, easement in gross. The correct answer is option B, mechanics lien. Payment disputes should be resolved before the claim matures into enforcement. The lien attaches to the improved property and can affect sale or refinancing. The claimant must comply with notice, filing, and timing requirements. Question 3. In a transaction involving a warehouse, which rule controls when there is water minus related rights of owners whose land borders a lake, sea, or ocean? Option A, life estate. Option B, fee simple absolute. Option C, literal rights. Option D, riparian rights. The correct answer is option C, literal rights. These rights concern use and enjoyment along a non-flowing or tidal body of water. Public access rules, environmental regulation, and changing shorelines can limit the owner's control. The classification depends on the type of water adjoining the property.
Stressed about your property and casualty? We can take property and casualty for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. A closing agent asks about recorded notice that litigation may affect title to identified real property. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A, mechanics lien. Option B, license. Option C, variance. Option D, lease pendens. The correct answer is option D, lease pendens. A later transferee generally takes subject to the outcome of the pending case. The notice warns purchasers and lenders that the lawsuit can determine property rights. It does not itself decide who will win the litigation. Question 5. Caleb encounters personal permission to enter or use land that does not create an ownership interest during a financing review. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A, license. Option B, easement appurtenant. Option C, lease pendens. Option D, escheat. The correct answer is option A, license. The permission is generally revocable and does not run with the land. Unlike an easement, this privilege usually cannot be transferred as a permanent property right. Tickets and temporary access permissions are common examples. Question 6. Which choice best matches the description? A 6-mile-square survey unit containing 30-6 sections under the rectangular survey system in the marketing review described. Option A, cooperative ownership. Option B, township. Option C, personal property. Option D, life estate. The correct answer is option B, township. Section numbers within the grid follow a standard back minus and minus fourth pattern. The survey grid units are located by their positions north or south of a baseline and east or west of a principal meridian. The survey grid unit covers 30-6 square miles before adjustments for irregularities. Question 7. During review of an office building in Bowie, the parties discuss an access right implied when a parcel would otherwise be landlocked after division of commonly owned land. Which term applies? Option A, subdivision regulation. Option B, mechanics lien. Option C, easement by necessity. Option D, specific lien. The correct answer is option C, easement by necessity. The right lasts only while the qualifying necessity continues. Mere convenience is normally insufficient. The need usually must exist at the time the common ownership is severed. Question 8. An exam scenario presents an item once movable that has become attached with the intent that it remain. Which answer is most accurate? Option A, lot and block system. Option B, condominium ownership. Option C, government survey system. Option D, fixture. The correct answer is option D, fixture. Disputes are reduced when the sales contract identifies included and excluded items. Once classified this way, the item ordinarily transfers with the property unless the contract provides otherwise. Attachment, adaptation, intent, and agreement help determine whether an installed item becomes part of the real estate.
Are you looking for property and casualty actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access property and casualty study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get property and casualty answer key today.
Question 9. A licensee preparing for a pre-listing meeting must recognize title held by one person or one legal entity. Which concept does this describe? Option A, severalty ownership. Option B, condominium ownership. Option C, trade fixture. Option D, tenancy at sufferance. The correct answer is option A, severalty ownership. The owner holds the complete ownership interest without concurrent co-owners. A corporation or limited liability company can hold title in this form even though it has multiple stakeholders. The term describes the title arrangement rather than the physical number of people involved in the entity. Question 10. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving a land-use area separating incompatible uses or protecting sensitive resources? Option A, conditional use. Option B, buffer zone. Option C, special assessment. Option D, non-conforming use. The correct answer is option B, buffer zone. Local zoning or environmental rules may establish the required width and permitted activities. Landscaping, open space, distance, or limited development may reduce impacts between neighboring properties. The area supports compatibility rather than creating a separate ownership estate. Question 11. At a due diligence meeting in Hagerstown, Leah explains a use right that benefits one parcel and burdens another parcel. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A, non-conforming use. Option B, easement and gross. Option C, easement appurtenant. Option D, encroachment. The correct answer is option C, easement appurtenant. The benefited and burdened parcels are commonly described as dominant and servient estates. It is tied to parcel ownership rather than to a particular individual. The right ordinarily transfers with the land even when it is not mentioned in every later deed. Question 12. A transaction file for a subdivision lot raises an issue involving standards governing construction quality, materials, occupancy, and safety. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, specific lien. Option B, lease pendens. Option C, certificate of occupancy. Option D, building code. The correct answer is option D, building code. Zoning controls location and use, while construction codes focus on how structures are built and occupied. These rules protect occupants and the public by establishing minimum construction requirements. Permits and inspections help enforce compliance during building and renovation. Question 13. Which concept should a tenant apply to facts involving a land description method based on principal meridians, baselines, townships, ranges, and sections? Option A, government survey system. Option B, tenancy in common. Option C, estate for years. Option D, tenancy by the entirety. The correct answer is option A, government survey system. A standard township contains 30-6 sections, although irregularities can occur. Descriptions identify increasingly smaller portions of a section. The system divides land into a grid of townships and sections. Question 14. Elena is studying a rule concerning the broadest private ownership interest of potentially unlimited duration. Which term should be chosen? Option A, planned unit development. Option B, fee simple absolute. Option C, tenancy at sufferance. Option D, real property. The correct answer is option B, fee simple absolute. Government powers and private encumbrances can still restrict its use. It may be sold, gifted, devised, or inherited and is not limited by a stated ending event. This estate provides the greatest collection of ownership rights recognized in private property. Question 15. When a condominium unit transaction involves the legal ability to use or control space above a parcel, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A, life estate. Option B, point of beginning. Option C, heir rights. Option D, bundle of rights. The correct answer is option C, heir rights. These rights may be sold, leased, or limited separately from surface ownership when law permits. Development above rail lines, roads, or existing structures often depends on this interest. Zoning and safety regulations still control what may be built. Question 16. A practice question describes a lawful existing use that remains after a zoning change makes that use inconsistent with current rules. Which response is best? Option A, general lien. Option B, easement in gross. Option C, easement by necessity. Option D, nonconforming use. The correct answer is option D, nonconforming use. Expansion, abandonment, or destruction may affect whether the protection continues. The use is often allowed to continue because it was legal when established. A new owner generally takes the property subject to the same restrictions. Question 17. During a financing review, which principle is illustrated by movable items that are not permanently attached to land? Option A, personal property. Option B, tenancy at sufferance. Option C, township. Option D, joint tenancy. The correct answer is option A, personal property. Movable belongings generally remain separate from the real estate. An item may change classification if it is permanently installed as a fixture. They can usually be transferred by delivery or a bill of sale rather than by deed. Question 18. Which answer states the concept associated with possession by a tenant who remains after a lawful lease has ended without the landlord's consent? Option A, periodic tenancy. Option B, tenancy at sufferance. Option C, reversion interest. Option D, real property. The correct answer is option B, tenancy at sufferance. The landlord may pursue lawful eviction or accept rent and create a new tenancy. The occupant entered legally but stays beyond the authorized period. This status is different from trespass at the beginning because the original possession was valid.
Stressed about your FCLE? We can take FCLE for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A salesperson handling a townhouse in Frederick must identify a local law dividing land into districts and regulating permitted uses and development standards. Which choice is correct? Option A, general lien. Option B, mechanics lien. Option C, zoning ordinance. Option D, conditional use. The correct answer is option C, zoning ordinance. A property owner must comply unless a lawful exception or relief applies. Private deed restrictions can impose additional limits beyond zoning. The regulation may control use, height, setbacks, density, and similar development features. Question 20. During a lease negotiation for a vacant parcel in Baltimore, Nora needs to identify the rule described as government control over dividing land into lots and providing streets, utilities, and infrastructure. Which answer applies? Option A, easement by necessity. Option B, general lien. Option C, zoning ordinance. Option D, subdivision regulation. The correct answer is option D, subdivision regulation. The rules operate alongside zoning rather than replacing it. A recorded plat often results after the review process is completed. Approval helps ensure that newly created parcels meet access, drainage, and public improvement standards. Question 21. A buyer is reviewing a single-family home in Ocean City. Which term describes a use permitted in a zoning district only after specified standards and approval requirements are met? Option A, conditional use. Option B, zoning ordinance. Option C, easement in gross. Option D, police power. The correct answer is option A, conditional use. The zoning law identifies the use as potentially acceptable under controlled conditions. The reviewing authority may impose reasonable conditions connected to land-use impacts. This differs from an illegal use that has no authorization in the district. Question 22. At a title examination, a Maryland exam candidate encounters the following description: ownership of shares in a corporation coupled with a proprietary lease to occupy a unit. Which concept is being tested? Option A, tenancy in common. Option B, cooperative ownership. Option C, tenancy at sufferance. Option D, condominium ownership. The correct answer is option B, cooperative ownership. Occupancy rights come from a lease connected to the shareholder status. The resident owns an interest in the entity that owns the entire building. Transfers and financing may require approval under the cooperative documents. Question 23. Gavin is assisting with a waterfront parcel transaction in Towson. Which principle applies when the facts involve a private limitation placed in a deed or recorded declaration that controls property use? Option A, taxation. Option B, special assessment. Option C, deed restriction. Option D, zoning ordinance. The correct answer is option C, deed restriction. The restriction binds property through private agreement rather than direct government regulation. A use may comply with zoning yet still violate a stricter private restriction. Enforcement normally belongs to parties who benefit from the covenant. Question 24. Which answer most accurately identifies co-ownership in which each owner has an undivided interest without a required right of survivorship in a real estate transaction? Option A, riparian rights. Option B, metes and bounds. Option C, real property. Option D, tenancy in common. The correct answer is option D, tenancy in common. At death, the interest passes through the owner's estate rather than automatically to the other co-owners. Co-owners may hold unequal shares while each retains the right to possess the whole property. An owner may transfer that individual share without the consent of the other owners, subject to existing agreements. Question 25. A question arising during property management audit concerns the collection of legal powers associated with real property ownership. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A, bundle of rights. Option B, government survey system. Option C, township. Option D, joint tenancy. The correct answer is option A, bundle of rights. These rights include possession, control, exclusion, enjoyment, and disposition. A person may transfer or limit one right while retaining the others. Ownership is commonly analyzed as separate rights rather than one indivisible privilege.